Today, I'm gonna show you the most violent move I've ever learned in kickboxing. Now, this move isn't for the faint of heart, and this video isn't for the faint of heart because I'm gonna get really descriptive and paint you vivid pictures. I've also been on the other end of this move. I've gotten hit with this move and it just completely disoriented me, almost knocked me out, and it cut me open to where I was bleeding all over the place. So stick around and watch this video. Welcome to Sicat Kickboxing Club. All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chris. Welcome back to Sicat Kickboxing Club. If you haven't done so yet, and if you've been following me for a while, please subscribe to my channel and also like these videos if you get value out of it, and also share these videos to anyone that wants to learn the art of kickboxing, self-defense, or wants to gain more confidence in themselves. I also run a podcast, a martial arts podcast, an overall martial arts podcast with kickboxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, from practitioners to pro fighters to just, heavy competitors. And you could get a lot of value out of it. So this channel and that channel, if you mix it all together, just like MMA, then you can really improve your skills in what you're trying to do within like kickboxing or just fighting in general. All right, guys, let's get right into it. So in some of my competitions that I used to do in San Diego, some of the exhibitions, and actually even more of recent, maybe like 2 years ago, I got cut open with these two particular moves. I'm gonna show you the most brutal one that I like. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I'm in love with the elbows because they are so hard. Like, meaning when you get hit with them, even if you're blocking punches, you could still do a lot of damage or at least distract your opponent. Or if you hit them clean, it will completely disorient your opponent to where they're just kind of like in a woozy state, right? Like in my past videos, I've showed you a few elbow techniques and how to do them. So I showed you this elbow, and then I showed you this elbow, I show you this elbow, right? And this one is pretty much like my favorite to use in a fight, just because it will, even if you're blocking, it could still disorient you while you're blocking, right? It could off balance you, and it could hurt a lot if I land it clean. But when I was sparring this one time, a great amateur fighter, what happened was I got too close to him, like this. And what happened was when I was blocking this way, he hit me with this elbow, this like kind of going vertical elbow, going down at an angle, right? And ever since then, it cut me open. I had to get 12 stitches exactly. And ever since then, I was like, oh man, it hit me in the eyebrows right here, like right here. And the thing is that it's so dangerous because if he would have hit me any other place, it maybe would have shattered my orbital bone, which is kind of right here, right? Your orbital bone. And then it really messes up your vision. That's why I say this video isn't for the faint of heart, because like I was bleeding all over the place. I'm talking about my eye was open to the point where you could see my ligaments and my cartilage in between my eye. And I was thinking that, like, I looked at myself in the mirror, I was like, oh. But yeah, it did a few things to me being on the other end of the spectrum. Not me hitting the elbow, but him hitting me with the elbow. It stunned me. I had to go on the ground. Like I said, I was bleeding all over the place. I was like a little bit, I didn't know where I was at, right? For probably a good like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, what the heck? I just got hit with this crazy elbow. Actually, I didn't even know I know I got hit, but I didn't know what it was because I was so disoriented in my head. But anyway, this elbow right here, when he hit me with it, I actually had my guard up right here, but then it split through my guard. That's what makes this elbow so dangerous. Like, I've talked about my favorite elbow, like I said, it's this one, but this one is the most dangerous from what I feel. And there's a few things to that. There's a few caveats to that and why I say that. Number one is just that, what I just said. It splits through the guard. So look, if you're blocking this way, even if it's tight, right? Look at the space that I still have. And the reason why we call it splitting the elbow is just that, because it splits the guard. It's a splitting elbow which splits down the middle. You see that open space right there? It opens it up and then it could still cut you. That's the key to this elbow, is that it goes down the straight line at an angle, right? Or you could go up the middle and it gets through. And when it gets through, the mechanics of you being cut open is look at how jagged and like just hard and rough this part of your elbow is. Not only the elbows, but the knees as well, but I'll talk about that in later on. But this right here is kind of like, you know, when they do bare knuckle boxing, look, there's like just sharp parts of your knuckles right here, sharp parts of your knuckles. Even worse with the elbow because it's such a big part. It's such a big body part. And then the momentum that you get out of it when you do these elbows is just very, very destructive. Like, I never want to be on the other end of the spectrum. That's why I say defense wins championships, because you want to have great defense to not get hit with those elbows. So let me show you like how you actually do this elbow, okay? We'll look over here in this camera right here. So with this elbow, I've mentioned this in a prior video, but I'll go over it just for a quick review. You have to have a high guard, meaning your hands are up here, okay? Not down here like a boxer stance, but up here like a Muay Thai fighter, right? Like Muay Thai fighters will do this, kickboxers, they'll have a long high guard. The reason for that is that you're already here protected and you don't have to go that long of a range to hit the elbow. Because if you were down here, you'd have to come up, turn, and then do this. But if you're already over here, you're protected, first of all, with the elbows, right? So you don't have to go here. If someone's trying to hit you with their own elbow, you already have your windshield wipers, like I talked about in my last videos. Go check that out. And then you could just move your hands around. And this elbow that we're talking about, it's gonna be more easily accessible to pull off when you're already set up for it. So meaning, right here, you're already set up for it, and then all you have to do is come down, okay? Now, a few rules to this, because again, I want you to get the proper technique of this move. So when we're doing the long guard here, right? And this is the first thing that you wanna do, and this is such a big, kind of small detail to this technique, but it's the world. It's like, if you don't do this technique, you're not doing it right. So what you want to have to do is kind of like have your palm turn right here, like a fan, like this, right? And look, what that's gonna do is it automatically turns your elbow up. You gotta turn your elbow up and then come down, right? If you don't do that, look, it's almost nearly impossible not to do it. So what you wanna do is turn your palm facing this way and then bring your elbow up. Notice how I'm protected at all angles, and then come down with it. Now, you don't wanna, I'm over exaggerating the move on the elbow. You don't want to come down with it too much. Like, you don't want to do this, because guess what? I'm open in case you miss, right? And I'm all about the defense and protecting you, because I do care about like your well-being, because from experience, I've gotten hit with it and it's just not fun, okay? So when I do this, look, I'm covered at all angles. I'm up here, and then I'll turn my palm up, look. I'll go right about here, and look, I'm still protected, and if they try to get through, they may hit my elbow, and then I'll come right back, okay? So that's the one detail that I want you to fix, is the palm here, right? And then when you come up with the elbow, look, when I come up with the elbow, I'll go here, but I won't go too low, right? And then I'm open, right? I'm here now, and then I'll just go back. For a demonstration, I'll do it here on the double-sided bag right here. So again, if I'm in my stance here, look, palm up, right? I'll do it on the bottom. Look, palm up, out, and then I'll come back. You can do this elbow in various ways, even the smallest angle, and I'm gonna show you in a minute what that means. Even the smallest angle can affect how the elbow hits someone or slices them open, where they're just bleeding all over the place. So one thing, you could go straight down the line, right? There's purposes for all these elbows and how you switch the angles. So what I mean is that, say if you go straight down the middle, right? Directly down the middle, like I said before, it'll split someone's guard, right? They'll get through the guard. Maybe you might hit their fingertips, whatever, but it'll still hurt. Now, if this one right here, this angle that I'm gonna show you, a slight angle, is what really cuts people open, like as far as here in their eyebrows. If you go at an angle here, not straight down the line, but then if you come to the side a little bit, you see that? Oh, that is just, it will definitely cut someone open. It will open someone up, because look at the angle going this way, right? Especially with the sharp, jagged edges of your elbow, it's boom. Anytime you come at an angle, it'll chop someone up, right? If you go straight, so what I mean is, if you go straight with a punch right here, okay, you'll get hit with the force. But then, say if you come at a hook with an angle, you see that? And then I'm just grazing, boom. I'm just grazing with these jagged, sharp edges of my knuckles, or my elbows, or my knees, then that's when it really gets really sharp, I guess. That's when your tools really get sharp. So again, looking at it from this angle, Raj, I'll do, and it's such a subtle difference that you might not be able to tell. That's why I'm explaining it in this video, where if you come up here with the elbow, you're going down, and then you're coming back up, right? That's, again, that's going up and down vertical, right? Without an angle. But over here, I'm coming at an angle, so you could do that as well. The problem with that is that when they block, it's harder to hit them, right? Instead of going down the middle. You could hit them here, it'll still hurt, but to really land the angle elbow, you have to time it to where they're actually not guarded. Okay, preferably. So here, if I'm landing the angle elbow, boom, you see that? And then, boom, you see that? I'll land the angle elbow here, and then when I do that certain angle, I know almost certainly that I'm gonna land the elbow. If I do a split elbow, I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna land it, but I know there's an opening down the middle. That's the reason why I do these two angle elbows. And again, these are the most brutal. This elbow in particular is the most brutal. Now, I'm gonna show you another one for a bonus, because this also does it just as long as you do it the right angle. It's the tomahawk elbow. Now, this elbow, I like, not one of my favorites, but I do like, because it's the tomahawk elbow going up this way. Same thing, right? It just comes at a different angle, but then the reason why I like it, look over here, is that because if you're up close, right? Over here, it's kind of hard to hit it. You'll block yourself if you do this coming elbow, but if you're this close to someone, okay, and you do the tomahawk elbow, look, I can literally fit it into the closed gap that we have between me and my opponent. Look, see? Again, see, if I'm this close, look, I'll just bring it up and then chop it down, right? Here again, look, I'll bring it up kind of like the other elbow, but then I'll go at an above angle, right? I'm bringing my elbow up and then I'm chopping down, okay? Here's the elbow that I showed before, and here's the elbow that I'm showing, the tomahawk elbow. Now, the reason why I say this elbow is this, like, they're both violent. I mean, you know, if you hit someone with them, they get cut open. I mean, that's all she wrote. But with this elbow, it's the same thing. Look, you're coming at an angle, and look at the jagged edges of your elbow. Boom. When you come at an angle, I guarantee you, that is guaranteed to split someone open, okay? Look, boom. Even up top, boom, right here. I've seen some open forehead, like people got cut up in their foreheads, and it was just completely disgusting. You see that in a lot of like Muay Thai fights. And you just see it's kind of disgusting, honestly. But then, yeah, it's this elbow coming at an angle. Look, and I'll show you how to do it. You don't really need to turn your palm all the way. You just a little bit, right? You can over here, and then you're just coming above. Boom. You see? And again, don't go too low. I'm over exaggerating it for this video, but don't go too low. Don't over exaggerate it. Look. Bing. See? Over here, look. Again, boom. So those are the two elbows. And listen, the first one is, I went with the first one first. I explained that one because it's what I got hit with and what I like to do the most. This thing, I'm in the habit of doing it, but this is just, depending on your situation, of course, this is just as violent right here. Boom, boom. And you can do it either side. Look, turn again, boom. Look, boom. All right. But yeah, please subscribe to this video. Like if you got value out of this video. Also share it to anyone that wants to learn the art of kickboxing, self-defense, or just wants to have confidence in themselves. Check out the podcast, show links down below, and I will see you on the next one.